All right, Chase the Traveler again. So, I've showed you some of the good parts of New York City. I've even showed you where I came from, where I live, which is right down there. Now, when I was a kid, if you went that way, that was supposed to be like where the good neighborhood started. And if you went this way, that's where the neighborhood started to get a little bit run down. Now, I haven't been here in a while, but I want to go and have a look. I want to go see what's going on. I want to go see if the neighborhood is still the same. You know?
Nah, I was drunk. I want to all that shit. No.
I mean, it's kind of like when I was a kid, you never wanted to say to certain people that you live past 96th Street, because as soon as you said that, it was all about, oh, well, if he lives past 96th Street, then he doesn't have any money. And to a degree, that's true. That was true. Nowadays, I see a lot of people moving into this neighborhood, and a lot of new buildings are popping up like that. Like these buildings over here. They were definitely not here when I lived here, and the neighborhood has definitely become way more gentrified and way more expensive. As soon as a black or white person, not a black or white person, as soon as a black or Hispanic person moves out, somebody else with a lot more money moves in. And the locals are not that happy. I mean, this is government housing right here. So I guess the price to live here is going to stay the same. But definitely, back in the old days, you didn't want to have that tag that you lived out here in the projects. But, you know, I never felt that this was dangerous, even though technically this is a dangerous neighborhood. I never felt that I couldn't walk these streets. At night, maybe in a few places you might not want to walk. But if you're local, you kind of know where to go, what to do, what to say, and what not to say. And the atmosphere is definitely a little different. But again, this is supposed to be a neighborhood that you're supposed to fear. But technically, it's not really all that scary. I'm definitely not afraid walking these streets. Still think I have a little bit of street smart in me. Still think I know where to and where not to walk around. Not that I think anything will happen. But these areas right here are not as expensive as your Fifth Avenue or your Park Avenue. They're not as clean either. But it's not as dangerous as what a lot of people want to have you think. I mean, a couple new businesses popped up too. I mean, that Thai restaurant was definitely not there when I lived here. So things are changing a little bit. I mean, we're in East Harlem. And the graffiti isn't even that big anymore. When I was a kid, there was way more graffiti out here. I mean, you still have a number of different projects. Those red brick buildings, they're all projects. So you even have your martial arts, and they're starting out young. Now, I would say that in the past, you definitely would not have upper income people moving into neighborhoods like this. But now you do. Because the further downtown you go, the more expensive it gets. So, if you want something cheap, you gotta go up. But nowadays, even if you go up, you're not getting anything cheap. I mean, Manhattan is definitely expanding in a way that when I was a kid, I really never thought it would expand that way. The prices are definitely going up. And it's definitely way more diversified than it was years and years ago. Now, the problem is that if you lived here 10, 15, 20 years ago, you could probably afford this. Now, to live in one of these buildings right there, you have to be economically deprived to a certain degree in order to qualify. You can't make more than a certain amount of money. But if you wanted to live in a normal place, you would have to shell out quite a bit, even over here. And I mean, the problem with this area is that they definitely don't clean it as much as they should. This place could be a lot cleaner. Well, you know, what can you do? You've got a situation where local restaurants, I mean, I would say that this pretty much looks like what it used to look like years ago. Now, I definitely feel at home to a certain degree. I definitely feel I don't feel out of place here at all. You know, this is the thing. I definitely blend in here very well. But the problem is, I don't blend in very well. It's like when I'm walking in this neighborhood, I don't feel like an outsider at all. I don't feel like I've been away at all until I remember that I have been away. And unlike these people walking these streets, I don't know anybody, but I grew up around here. And I hung out around here quite a bit when I was a kid. Everything's changed, including the people. I mean, this is really not, this is like 7 or 8 blocks away from where I grew up. And these brownstones here, unfortunately, aren't worth the same amount as the brownstones 10 blocks south. but they're worth a pretty penny though. I mean, I would say these would go for about $1 million. When I was a kid, they'd go for about $300,000. Now they're like $1 million to $2 million. The ones further south, I would say, are about $3 to $4 million and up. You know, the local people over here are kind of upset that you have these yuppies, like these rich people from, who basically people who didn't grow up here. They're coming over here buying stuff up. And the locals can't buy anything up. So we have a situation where local people are kind of being pushed out of here, but slowly. Little by little, people are being pushed out. Things are also cheaper here to a certain degree. most certainly I wouldn't mind living over here for sure. And again, this is your dangerous hood, but not really dangerous hood. Of course, if you mess around with people, you most certainly will be handled. Appropriately, maybe not. But you're definitely going to be handled. I mean, I kind of feel like I belong, but I also feel like I don't belong. I think I probably moved out of here way too fast. If I had stayed a little bit, I probably would have known more people. But again, it's like I'm home, but I don't know a soul. I have no idea where people are at. Kind of get away, gotta get away from the copyright. You know, this is definitely a catch-22. I think I could live here definitely, but the price again is probably way too high. Definitely not cheap. Excuse me. Definitely not affordable even here. Even over here. But I don't know. I mean, honestly, I feel more at home here than in Texas. Way more at home over here than in Texas. I mean, I was in Texas this morning, and I would say that I like Texas. I could definitely live there also, but again, the price is way too high. So if the price was way too high in Texas, it's definitely going to be way too high in New York City. I mean, food over here is just ridiculous. I just bought some juice for $6. That's like 1,000 yen. Or almost 1,000 yen. So, most certainly, I feel like New York is for me, but it's definitely not for me. If I hadn't just tried to skip the line and go to Japan, I probably would have been able to live here properly and just would have progressed with everybody else. But since I decided to skip the line, I kind of have to get in back of the line right now in order to be able to live here. And I'm not sure that I want to do that. But I kind of had to come back here. And I kind of had to see what it was like. I really almost wanted to see someone that I knew. But everybody left. So it's kind of like you're a man with a country, but you're not a man with a home. I mean, I could stay with my mother, yeah, but again, she moved into that apartment when I went to Japan, so I didn't really know anybody there. So I'm not sure that I even want to go there. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Chase the Traveler in New York City, in my hometown. So, if you like my videos, please like and subscribe. Would much appreciate it. Anyway, see you in the next episode.